There is a certain kind of actor in Hollywood that the industry could not survive without. Not the leading man, not the one on the poster, not the name above the title, the one who walks into a scene and makes you feel something before he even opens his mouth. The one the other actors respected most, the one the directors trusted completely, the one the audience recognized instantly, even if they could never quite remember his name. That was Matt Clark. And on March 15th, 2026, Hollywood lost him forever. Matthew Clark was born on November 25th, 1936, in Washington, D.C. Raised in Arlington, Virginia, the son of a teacher and a carpenter. He was not born into Hollywood. He earned his way there. After serving in the United States Army, he briefly attended George Washington University before dropping out to follow something that called to him louder than any classroom could: acting. He joined a local DC theater group. Then he made his way to New York, where he became a member of the legendary Living Theater Company, one of the most groundbreaking experimental theater groups in American history. He worked off-Broadway. He worked in community theater. He trained at the HB Studio under Herbert Berghoff and William Hickey, two of the most respected acting teachers of the 20th century. This was a man who took the craft seriously, long before the cameras found him. When they did find him, the very first role he ever appeared in on screen was as a mugger in the 1964 film Black Like Me. His second film, only the Best Picture Oscar-winning classic, In the Heat of the Night, starring Sidney Poitier and Rod Steiger. That is how Matt Clark began. Not with a small independent short, not with a walk-on background role, with one of the most important films of an entire generation. The man arrived. If you want to understand Matt Clark's place in Hollywood history, you have to start with the Western. Because Matt Clark didn't just appear in Westerns, he defined a certain kind of Western character. The weathered face, the steady eyes, the man you weren't quite sure you could trust, until the moment you realized you could trust him completely. And the names he shared the screen with, they read like a Mount Rushmore of American cinema. Clint Eastwood. Matt Clark stood alongside Eastwood not once, but multiple times. High Plains Drifter in 1973, The Outlaw Josey Wales in 1976, Honky Tonk Man in 1982. 3 films, 3 iconic performances, each one different, each one unforgettable. John Wayne. In 1972, Clark appeared in The Cowboys, one of Wayne's most beloved later films. In that same year, he appeared in The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean alongside Paul Newman. Robert Redford. Jeremiah Johnson, 1972. One of the most visually stunning and emotionally raw westerns of the entire decade. And then again with Redford in Brubaker in 1980, one of the most powerful prison dramas ever committed to film, where Clark played the memorable role of prison clerk Roy Purcell, 3 of the greatest movie stars who ever lived, and Matt Clark held his own with every single one of them. He also appeared in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Hearts of the West, classic after classic, Western after Western. Not bad for a man whose name you might not have known yesterday. Here's what separated Matt Clark from being just a Western staple. The man could do anything. There was The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, one of the most gloriously strange and beloved cult films of the 1980s, where Clark played the United States Secretary of Defense. Because of course he did. There was Some Kind of Hero in 1982, the baseball drama 42 in 2013, and his final big screen appearance, A Million Ways to Die in the West in 2014, where he played an old prospector. Fitting. Western man right to the very end. And then came the role that introduced him to a whole new generation of fans. Back to the Future Part 3. Chester the Bartender. A small role, a perfectly crafted role, set in the 1885 Old West Saloon of Hill Valley, the kind of role only a master craftsman could walk into and make completely his own. If you grew up watching that film, and millions of us did, then Matt Clark was part of your childhood. You just didn't know his name yet? Now you do. And here is the detail that is going to stay with you. Just last year, in 2025, Matt Clark attended the Back to the Future reunion at the Dallas Fan Expo in Texas. It was the film's 40th anniversary celebration. And backstage at that event, Matt Clark and Michael J. Fox found each other, 2 men, decades apart from the film that connected them. One of them living with Parkinson's disease, the other with his back breaking beneath him. And they talked. They connected one more time. Clark was part of the cast Q&A and got to connect with Michael J. Fox backstage for what would turn out to be one final time-traveling chat. Al Jazeera, that image of those 2 men together at that reunion, is everything you need to know about what this life meant to Matt Clark. He showed up right to the very end for the work, for the people he loved working with, every time. And it wasn't just the big screen. Matt Clark was a constant and beloved presence on television across 5 decades of American pop culture. Bonanza, Kung Fu, The Waltons, Little House on the Prairie, Dynasty, Magnum P.I., Touched by an Angel, Chicago Hope, Walker, Texas Ranger, Lois and Clark, massive 1983 miniseries The Winds of War. But perhaps his most beloved television role came in 1993, when he joined the cast of Grace Under Fire, the ABC sitcom starring Brett Butler, playing the warm and memorable character Emmett Kelly. And then there was his recurring role as the lovably dim-witted Walt Bacon in the first season of The Jeff Foxworthy Show in 1995 and 1996. 12 episodes. Pure comedy gold. A Western legend who could make you laugh. Tough guy who could make you cry. A character actor who could do it all. His last television appearance was on Chicago Hope in the year 2000. But his legacy on the small screen will last forever. And if all that wasn't enough, Matt Clark also stepped behind the camera. In 1988, he directed Da, a deeply personal Irish drama starring Martin Sheen about fathers and sons, memory and grief. He also directed an episode of CBS School Break Special and 2 episodes of Midnight Caller. And earlier, in 1970, he wrote the story for the film Homer, a performer, a director, a writer, a complete artist. Clark was married 3 times. To Erica Land from 1958 to 1965, to Carol Trieste in 1968, and then to Sharon Mays from 2000 until his death. American partisan, he is survived by Sharon, his sons Matthias, Jason, and Seth, his daughter Amy A., 9 grandchildren, and a great-grandson. And there is one more beautiful detail worth mentioning. His daughter-in-law is actress Kimberly Beck, known for Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, and Independence Day. MS Now, even in his family, the love of film ran deep. The news broke on March 16, 2026. The tributes came flooding in. Fans on social media called him a legendary character actor who brought life to countless westerns. They said he gave memorable performances that will be remembered for generations. They said it was a life well lived in film. Director Gary Rosen called him a unique character player, a man who made every scene he appeared in memorable, a man who could hold his own and steal scenes from Rod Steiger and Robert Redford without breaking a sweat. And his family, the people who knew him best, gave us the words that matter most. They said Clark was an actor's actor who loved and respected the job, but was not concerned with stars and fame. He was impressed when working with good people who loved their families. He felt lucky about his career, and they said he died the way he lived. On his terms, 150 credits, 50 years of showing up, a Western legend, a character actor's character actor, a director, a writer, a father, a husband, a man who served his country before he ever served a role. Matt Clark lived a full life, and he filled every corner of it. Next time you watch The Outlaw Josey Wales, look for him. The next time you put on Back to the Future Part 3, raise a glass to Chester the bartender. The next time you watch Grace Under Fire, or The Cowboys, or Brubaker, remember the man behind the face. And the next time someone asks you to name the greatest character actor Hollywood ever produced, you know the answer now. Matt Clark. Rest easy, legend. You showed up for the work every single time. You felt lucky to do it, and we were lucky to watch you.